My friends, how are you? It is absolutely fantastic to see you for yet another video, and I hope you're doing well out there. I'm sure you can tell there's a little bit of a difference in my face when I started this video today, because it's not very often that I get to start a video off in Donald Trump's America with a smile on my face and be excited about what is going on. But today, my friends, I bring to you a very, very good news, as Canada has once stood its ground against Donald Trump, and Donald Trump did the famous old thing that he's known for, and that is taco. Yes, my friends, yesterday, on Taco Tuesday, of all things, Trump chickens out yet again when it comes to all his threats of tariffs against Canada, because he was mad about smoke for the most part. I mean, there's other things that he was grumpy about and no one gives a damn about, but we'll talk about it as we go through the video, because my friends, I am extremely excited for what is going on today with these tariffs that Donald Trump said he was going to impose. And we get down to the last minute last night, and Donald Trump goes, oh wait, I'm gonna give Canada a 3-day extension on these tariffs. And once again, Trump always chickens out, my friends, and we have got to talk about that, because this is becoming quite a fascinating thing going on, where apparently now Canada's new national pastime is slapping the ever-loving shit out of Donald Trump on the global stage, and letting him know that he ain't shit and he's not going to push Canada around. And my friends, I like that a whole lot. I really, really appreciate it. And part of the reason I've become so invested in the Canada and United States relationship is for very personal reasons, my friends. And that very personal reason is I don't fucking like bullies. I cannot stand them. I've told you guys I'm not going to go too much into my, own personal stories, but as a male growing up in the United States who was average height, goddammit, I made it to the towering height of 5'6". And look, I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't bother me. I don't get I'm not the guy that gets the little man syndrome and gets all grumpy that I'm not 6 feet tall or anything like that. Hell, the way I see it, if I can reach the pedals in the truck, I don't need to be any fucking taller. I don't have any reason to dunk on anyone or anything like that. But being that I was always kind of shorter through my whole childhood and everything, I of course spent a lot of my life being bullied by people, because the thing you need to know about bullies is they will never ever step to someone that they think is going to give them a problem. They always like to look for an easy target, because they're weak people, right? And one of the things I observed over those years in my life, even this stuff even went on into my 40s, right? But over those years of my life, is every guy that insisted he was a tough guy and always stood on business and would handle himself, the minute he saw a bully fucking with someone, he would run to that bully very quickly and try to befriend them, so that he would hopefully never get caught up in the crossfire of whatever bullshit they were doing. And it's really been a weak thing that I've observed my entire fucking life, and it really frustrates me. And that's how we ended up with the MAGA movement. In my very humble opinion, basically it was bullying spreading through the United States when Donald Trump showed up and started harassing the ever-loving shit out of everyone in the political field, and the minorities in this country, and the women in this country, and people in other countries, and all this shit. The MAGA movement exposed what weak fucking dorks they are in that moment, when they all flock to Donald Trump to bow down and get in line and hope like hell that they don't get caught up in the crossfire, they don't catch any bullshit. And it's really a pathetic thing that we see, right? The MAGA movement is the majority of it, a bunch of grown men that claims to be tough guys, claims to be alpha males, but they wouldn't dare lift a finger to defend themselves, or more importantly, defend the people around them, right? And it's been a very frustrating thing for me to watch, as Donald Trump's politics have just torn through the United States, leaving millions of people that said they would always stand up to that kind of bullshit bowing down in the fucking process. So that's why, my friends, I get so excited when I see other countries and other world leaders, and even some people here in the United States. It's becoming more increasingly, it happens more often, is what I'm trying to say, with people standing up to Donald Trump, right? And I honestly credit that a lot to how Canada stood up to Donald Trump on multiple occasions and made him not only look weak, but because he is weak, but made his weakness very obvious to a lot of fucking people. And as far as I can tell, Canada was one of the pioneers of exposing what a pathetic, weak little man Donald Trump is. And that's why I've become so invested in the story. I love the downfall of a bully. I think it's the greatest fucking thing ever. So I want to talk to you guys today about what's going on with Donald Trump's threats with the tariffs again. And once again, do the thing I've been doing for quite a while, is congratulate Canada and the people of Canada for once again standing your fucking ground and embarrassing this shithead for the whole world to see. You love to fucking see it. So before I jump into that, I want to take just a couple minutes to to thank you guys, like I always do in every video, for all the support that you provide to this channel, because it is not lost on me that I look like a dumb hick and I'm from a single wide trailer park in Colorado, and there's no reason in the world anybody should be stopping by to watch my videos, but yet here you guys are, not owing me a goddamn thing. Take time out of your day every day to hang out with me, and I fucking appreciate that. This many people should have never been paying attention to me in the first place. I don't know what fucking happened, but thank you to everyone that watches the videos, leaves a comment, leaves a like, subscribes to the channel, excuse me, and of course shares out my videos to your social media. I appreciate that so much. Thank you to everyone that does the super chats, super thanks, and channel memberships. Thank you for that support, of course. And my personal favorite, the buy me a coffee link that you can find in the pinned comment and description of every video, where if you would like, you can make donations over there to help this help with the channel and help this trucker in a dying economy just kind of get by out here. I really do appreciate it, and it sure beats the shit out of doing ad reads and sponsorships and all that bullshit for you guys. I'd rather just say thank you for everything that you do, and I truly do mean that. Anyways, back to the fucking point with Donald Trump and Canada once again thoroughly spanking his ass on the global stage, and I fucking love it. And I have enjoyed this whole story unfolding, the entire saga, for all this fucking time, because we all know that Donald Trump's beef with Canada started with when Melania, I was trying, I can't remember names sometimes, when Melania got caught giving Justin Trudeau those fuck me eyes. You guys remember that, right? And I know I've got a lot of Trump supporters probably watching right now, and they're very confused by that statement that I just made, because anytime a woman looks at them, it's normally like disgust or disappointment is the look on their face, and they're like, the fuck me eyes look doesn't exist. What is this guy talking about? And it truly does exist, honestly, and all you gotta do is kind of be a decent person, and you know, I don't know, just boldly claim that women are people too, and sometimes that helps, at least with that, right? And MAGA, for all of you that are confused, I want you to sit down and just focus on what I'm about to say, because what I'm about to tell you is going to knock you out of your fucking chair. So I encourage you to sit down. I don't want you to get hurt. But what also exists, believe it or not, is the female orgasm. I know, it's fucking shocking, isn't it? So good luck with all that, MAGA. But anyways, that's when it first started, right? Is Melania looked at Justin Trudeau, and she was like, holy shit, that is one fine man right there. Because imagine, like, I don't like Melania, I don't ever want to say she's a good person or anything, but there are points where, like, I'm like, oh, poor girl. And one of those points is when she's being smothered under Donald Trump's fat ass and trying to gasp for air as his diaper's leaking out all over the fucking place. And as bad of a person as she is, I don't fucking wish that on anyone. So when she got a look at Justin Trudeau, she was probably like, damn, what a man, right? And that obviously pissed Donald Trump off. He fucking lost it, because he's so MAGA, he's the leader of MAGA, but he is so MAGA that it never occurred to him to, I don't know, try to be a decent person. How about that? Try to at least take care of yourself a little bit instead of being a huge fucking lard ass. Try to pay attention to someone outside of yourself every once in a while, and most importantly, every once in a while, change that fucking diaper, Donald. And he can't figure out why his wife's not attracted to him anymore. It's quite the shocking fucking thing. Now, isn't it, my friends? And that's where this whole thing started, of course. And Donald Trump started with all of his tariff bullshit and 51st state rhetoric that we obviously have heard on many fucking occasions, right? And that I will tell you, my friends, and I know I've told you many, many times, but I was having trouble wrapping my head around that entire situation, because when Donald Trump first came out and started doing the 51st state bullshit that he was doing, I was kind of not getting, I wasn't reading him the right way, unfortunately, because I didn't spend a whole lot of time in his first term really fucking paying attention to him. It wasn't until like the insurrection that I mean, I knew he was a piece of shit, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't till the insurrection that I really found out what a horrible, horrifying person Donald Trump is. The denial of COVID was bad. The, you know, getting 1 million Americans killed, that was really, really fucking bad. But the insurrection was just kind of what sealed it for me, that he is truly, truly fucking awful, right? So at first, the 51st state thing, when he started saying that to Justin Trudeau, it felt almost a little bit like some ball busting, like I'm just gonna like talk shit. And granted, it's a terrible thing to say, of course it is. You don't just threaten to take over another country, right? But what happened, in my opinion, is it just got stuck in his fucking head, and he's like, no, now I fucking mean it. I said it, I mean it, and I'm going to do it. And obviously threatened Canada on many, many occasions, is what I'm trying to say. And that was all bad. That was a really terrible thing. That's kind of where I came on the scene, to kind of stand up here in the United States alongside Canada with the idea that, you know, the United States shouldn't be taking over sovereign countries, you know? And I understand we've got a bad history. There's going to be someone in the comments going, do you know what your country did? Listen, I wasn't alive then. And YouTube didn't exist then. I don't know what you want me to do about our shitty history. I understand that all of that fucking exists, but I only live here in the here and now, and all I can do is speak up right now. That's the only choice I have. So asking me to do the impossible and travel back in time to when white dudes showed up on a fucking boat and started throwing disease blankets on the local population, I can't do a goddamn thing about that except say, yeah, obviously that was fucking bad. If I was there and I had a YouTube channel and I was out here trucking around in a country that like didn't exist or did exist but belonged to a completely different group of people, you know, I would have done something different, but I wasn't here. I couldn't do anything about it, right? But now, in the current here and now, we shouldn't be doing these things, right? Excuse me. So after that, of course, as we all know, Donald Trump started these trade wars with Canada that have done nothing but backfire in his fucking face. It's been glorious to a point. It really has been. But it's obviously, it's a time when the American people, unfortunately, have to take our hits right now and, you know, realize that it is Donald Trump and the Republican Party that is making our life as difficult as it is. Look at all their policy. Look at all the bullshit that they do. And that's just, it's just them, right? But the trade wars obviously backfired really, really fucking bad. We'll get into it later in the video, but the bourbon distilleries are losing their fucking minds over this entire thing. Our tourism industry is something I haven't been following very much as I had planned to when I started up this channel. But I don't imagine that international tourism is doing that well in the United States. All because you are threatening to take over other countries, all because if people travel to the United States, there's a real possibility that they could end up in an ICE concentration camp. It's a real fucking problem, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's really fucking bad. Everything about these trade wars have fucking backfired, and it's been glorious in a way, because we as Americans need to learn our lesson. That's really what it comes down to, right? And I know a lot of people didn't go out and vote for Donald Trump. It's the ones that did that are a fucking problem. It's the ones that didn't vote because they didn't want to participate in their own democracy. Are you kidding me? They're the fucking problem. And we all got to live with it, is the point that I'm trying to make. But anyways, to try to get back to the point of today's video, right? Donald Trump got really grumpy here lately about a few different things, right? He got really grumpy about the smoke coming over the border from Canada's wildfires coming into the United States, and he started talking about putting more tariffs on Canada during that time, right? And it was such a goofy fucking thing, because we here in the United States have wildfires going on. I don't know how they are right now, but at the time we had wildfires going on all over the country also. And the weird thing about smoke is it goes up into the air, and then the air currents up there move the smoke around to different places, and it doesn't give a fuck about borders. Like, smoke doesn't respect borders at all, right? I'm surprised that with that in mind, Donald Trump didn't send ICE after the smoke. I mean, look at him, Donald. Build a wall, motherfucker. Like, do something. The smoke is just coming over the fucking border. And it turns out that must have been too big of a job for ICE, huh? I mean, that's what they're here for, isn't it? That's what they're supposed to be doing. I'd rather them do that than gunning down American citizens. I'd rather have these fucking inbred hicks that joined ICE all run around chasing down the smoke and figuring out how to get it on the right side of the border over them gunning down American citizens. That would be a much better job for them, I think, and I'd be more willing to pay for it than I am willing to pay for them to murder Americans. It's a stupid job. It doesn't make a lot of fucking sense, but at least it keeps these inbred homicidal maniacs the fuck away from us, and it keeps them distracted with chasing the fucking smoke around, which I support. But I think it has nothing to do with the smoke. It has nothing to do with the economies and Canada has treated us unfairly and all this bullshit that Donald Trump says. It obviously has to do with the way his wife looked at Justin Trudeau, and it also has everything to do with the Gordie Howe Bridge, the bridge that Canada recently opened between Michigan and oh, I'm gonna fuck this up. Windsor? Did I get that right? Oh, I hope I didn't fuck that up. I'm pretty sure it's Windsor. You guys will let me know if I fuck that up, all right? But I'm pretty sure that's where it is. The Gordie Howe Bridge was a big fucking blow to one of Donald Trump's billionaire buddies that owns, I believe it's called the Ambassador Bridge. Sorry, I fucked that up. And this has caused a real big problem for Donald Trump and his billionaire buddies and everyone because there's a new, better bridge that helps move the economy faster, and it cuts out this billionaire prick that owns the Ambassador Bridge, right? And that's where I think the real feud is coming with all of this. That's why I think it's fucking happening, right? And so, the point I'm trying to get to, I always feel like it's important to talk about the history of how we got here, because it's important for people to understand how we got where we are, right? And that's why I kind of talk about those things. Donald Trump flips the fuck out over the entire thing and threatens Canada with more 50% tariffs on a shitload of their products, right? And as we approach the deadline, the United States starts to make it more clear, and by that I mean Donald Trump, not the rest of us, starts to make it more clear about what it is that they want from Canada. There's still the beef over the bridge, right? Which I had heard that certain union members, auto transporters, were told they're not allowed to use Gordie Howe. They have to use the Ambassador still. So there's still a feud going on between them. And also a lot of very wealthy people that donate to Republicans are the owners of the bourbon distilleries in Kentucky that are going fucking bankrupt through this entire process. And that, my friends, I find to be one of the most fascinating things because I figured in Donald Trump's presidency, a lot more Americans would take up drinking hard liquor. Like, how else do you get through it, right? But they've turned to weed. That's what, and I got no problem with that. You want, go ahead, smoke your brains out. I don't give a shit. I think it would be fun if I wasn't still federally regulated as a truck driver out here. Hell, I'd probably give it a go myself, but you know, you don't want to give up your whole goddamn job because you decided to have some fun on the fucking weekends. We don't allow that here in the United States, right? And Donald Trump starts talking about how the Canadians excuse me, need to put the American liquor back on their shelves as part of the agreement with what's going on. And I don't know what Canada is saying with that as far as the government goes, but what Donald Trump needs to know is it's not going to do any fucking good. It has nothing to do at this point with the Canadian government removing the product from the shelves in certain provinces, and has everything to do with the boycotts by the Canadian people when it comes to American products, even if and I don't think they should. I forget what they're called. Are they the premiers? Help me, Canadians, help me. I think they're similar to governors over the provinces. I'm fucking this up. I know I am. But even if I don't think they should, if they cave and go, we're putting American products back on the shelf, that would look very weak to a lot of Canadian people. They just straight up can't do it. And if they do, I mean, Canadians still aren't going to buy the shit, is the point that I'm making, right? So it looked like it had to do with the bridge and had to do with the liquor sales in the United States. Well, all of this could have been avoided, Donald Trump. You could have never threatened, of course, the tariffs, the trade wars, that you wanted to economically harm Canada and its people. But most importantly, you could have never threatened to make them the 51st state. You understand that, right? It's almost like Donald Trump is dealing with the consequences of his own actions, and he don't fucking like that because he's been a spoiled brat his entire fucking life that isn't used to dealing with that, isn't having to deal with the consequences, and that's what's really pissing him off, my friends. That's what's really making him mad, and that seems like sort of the demands from the American people, or not the American people. Don't quote me on that shit. That's not what I meant. From Donald Trump, who's basically just trying to bail out his billionaire buddies, is what the whole thing comes down to. And as we approach the deadline and Canada, Mark Carney, the Canadians continue to work on, well, maybe here's a good deal that we can work on. Donald Trump does fuck all but shit his diaper and play golf and pretend that he's a big war general with the Iran war that he's fucking losing, and does absolutely nothing. And then it comes up to the fucking deadline and Donald Trump goes, that's it, we don't have a deal. I'm giving you a 3-day extension, bitch. And Canada's like, man, we already knew that was coming. Like, we already knew that that's what you were going to do. And it's such a goofy thing. Everything about this is why I love this, all right? This is why I love this so much. Donald Trump, on a global scale, is being exposed in so many different directions for the massive beta cuck that he is. And I love that so fucking much, because once you take away the illusion, to the MAGA movement that Donald Trump is some sort of tough guy and can do whatever he wants, the whole house of cards falls, my friends. It completely fucking crumbles. That's what they do. Remember the beginning of the video where I said that MAGA does this because they're fucking terrified of Donald Trump? That's what people that support bullies are. They're scared, right? And once you take away this illusion that he's a fucking tough guy, the whole thing comes crumbling fucking down. It's over. It's done. It's over. And who gives a fuck, right? So while Donald Trump's out there threatening the entire world, Canada, Greenland, Iran, and probably even more than that, acting like a bully going, I'm gonna punch you. I swear to God, I'm gonna do it. I swear, I'm gonna fucking punch you. Bro, you see my fist? It's right here, bro. I'm giving you some time to fucking figure this out. Donald Trump ain't gonna punch a goddamn thing. He ain't got near the power that he thinks he fucking has, and that is the most glorious fucking part of all of this, because it shatters this image that he's some sort of tough guy. And that, my friends, is why I get so interested in all of these fucking stories, right? I'm not for the destruction of the United States. That would be fucking goofy. We've got a lot of work to do before we can even call this a serious country on the world stage again. A lot of fucking work, right? But when Donald Trump goes out there and threatens Canada with economic harm and 51st state shit, and they stand up to him, that helps. Canada's helping with the bullshit that's going on here. When he threatens Greenland and like all of NATO is like, the fuck you are, motherfucker, then that helps. That's a big fucking deal. And when he goes over there and starts a war with Iran and says we're going to obliterate them, as far as I know, they've been obliterated roughly 76 times now. It's fucking crazy. Their army's been completely decimated. They have no air force. And here goes more American shit blowing up because Iran still has all their resources, right? When he loses that war over and fucking over again, this all brings down the entire MAGA movement structure, right? It really does. So a lot of times when I do these videos, it comes off like in my own head, because I'm paranoid and I freak out about everything. I got severe anxiety, my friends. It comes out in my head as though I'm kissing the ass of the Canadian people. And maybe to a point that's true. I don't fucking know. But what it really amounts to is I have watched so many people and institutions in my own country bow down to Donald Trump that I did not realize that there was any point where there would be a stop to what he was doing. And Canada, Greenland, we still need to figure out that situation with the mysterious oil drilling company that showed up there. I haven't heard much more about it. I don't fucking know. And Iran, shockingly, have all proven that the whole MAGA movement is just a house of cards. It's full of weak men that can't do a goddamn thing. And every bit of that helps with what's going on. I just hope for brighter days. That's really it. But good job, Canadians, once again, standing up for yourselves. Even if the government, I hope I got that right. I think they're the premiers of the provinces, but I could be wrong. I'll look it up after this video and get a little bit smarter next time I talk about Canada. But even if they do put this shit back on the shelf, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. Donald Trump has already fucked that relationship up. And who gives a shit? But it's just funny as hell to watch at this point. Anyways, I gotta get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.